The first sound is that of the water. An ancient, patient beat, as if the sea knew how to say the name of the one who arrives. When Maya sets her feet on the sand of the Gold Coast, the warm wind brushes her face and the salt decides to stay on her skin as if it had always lived there. She breathes, long and deep, like someone opening a window after a long time. She came from Canada, fleeing the cold and a love that had turned into a weight, but on that morning that smells of coconut and sea spray, everything seems light. The horizon, a line of melted light, invites her to cross an invisible line. There is a rumor of something about to happen, like the crest that builds before it breaks. She walks with the surfboard under her arm, feeling the texture of the wax beneath her fingers. The sky is an immense blue sheet, and seagulls draw arrows that point to a place only the birds understand. Maya is 24 years old, her body strong and lean like a well-drawn line. Her loose brown hair still holds the scent of the night. Her eyes, which sometimes look like honey and sometimes like wet earth, roam the sea in search of a rhythm she recognizes. Her heart, though quiet, picks up its pace when she hears a smiling voice. First time here? Sienna emerges as if she already belongs to the landscape, 25 years old, skin tanned by the repeated sun, a glint in her amber-colored eyes, blonde hair tied in a messy bun that insists on coming undone. She wears linen shorts, a loose t-shirt, and a shell necklace that dances when she gestures. Her smile is open, her manner that of someone who converses with the wind. I'm Sienna. Class at 7, remember? She points to the invisible clock of the sea, where the hours are the tides. Maya nods, her voice still waking up. I'm Maya. Anne, yes, I'm ready. They walk side by side to the point where the sand gives way to the foam. The scent is sweet and mineral, the breeze, warm. Sienna speaks of the currents, of the sets of waves, of how the seabed changes after storms. Her hand draws a simple cartography in the air, arrows, curves, pauses, and, suddenly, the chaos of the ocean seems to have a path. Maya listens attentively, her mouth slightly open, also capturing smaller details. Sienna's short laugh when a wave splashes their ankles, the way she tilts her head to listen, the thin scar on the side of her arm, a memory of an unruly board. They are small details, but Maya's body stores them like someone collecting signs. They enter the water. The cool shock is a perfect chord. Sienna goes ahead, paddling with precise arms. Maya follows, feeling the resistance of the sea against her shoulders, the salt nipping at her lips. Today, no rush, says Sienna, looking over her shoulder. We let the body and the sea talk first. Maya lets out a short laugh, her voice lighter. Mine tends to be stubborn. The sea is patient, Sienna replies, and there is something in her tone that warms the water around them. In the outside, they float for a moment like two commas in a long sentence. The waves come and go, breathing with them. Sienna points, see there. That smaller set. It's good to start with. Let it come, don't try to dominate it. Just, listen. The word, listen, finds an intimate echo in Maya, as if it pertained to much more than the waves. When the first wall of water forms, Sienna pushes her gently, go. It's yours. Maya paddles, feels the exact moment the board is pulled by the sea's gravity, gets up, wavers, and falls, spinning in a foam that embraces her from all sides. She surfaces laughing and coughing. I don't think the sea understood my accent. It understood, yes, Sienna returns, approaching to adjust the position of Maya's feet on the board. It just wants you to stop asking for permission. The touch happens then, firm, technical, inevitable. Sienna's fingers touch Maya's ankle, move up to her calf to show the point of support, then guide her hip with a short gesture. It is a touch that could have passed without meaning, but Maya's body perceives another layer. A discreet warmth, a good electricity. For a second, time narrows. Maya holds her breath and releases it slowly, like someone keeping the secret of a lighthouse. Better like this? Sienna asks, still close. Better, Maya replies, and the word seems to have more than one meaning. They continue. Between falls and small victories, Maya finds her balance for a few long seconds, enough to feel the wind open a path across her face. At the shore, a group of children plays with a ball. The smell of coffee from a nearby kiosk mixes with the salt and coconut lotion. Far away, a dog barks at the foam as if it could defeat it. The morning grows, and with it grows a silent understanding between the two. The water has a language that does not fit in the alphabet. Sienna observes, comments, praises without exaggeration. "You have beautiful timing," she says, offering a bottle of water. "You just need to trust your body." "And what if the body is afraid?" Maya returns, half laughing, half serious. Sienna gives a sun-drenched shrug. "Then we invite fear to surf with us. It gets tired and goes away." When they get out of the water, the sun is already drawing liquid shimmers on their skin. Sienna points to a shadow under a palm tree, and they sit on their boards, letting their ankles collect sand. The breeze traces the line of Maya's neck, drying the salt. A stubborn strand of hair sticks to her mouth, and she pushes it away with her fingers. Sienna observes this tiny gesture with too much attention to be casual. Then, she feigns distraction as she opens her backpack and takes out 2 cereal bars. "Want one?" she asks. "I'll take one." The wrapper tears with a sound reminiscent of a film reel being opened. They eat slowly, watching the tide come in. Maya talks about Canada without going down too many streets, the long winter, the tight routine, a love that was becoming silence. There are no details, just the idea of a weariness that weighed her down. Sienna listens in silence, her presence soft like wet sand. She doesn't try to fix, doesn't give advice. "Time expands here," she says finally. "The sea makes us unlearn haste." "Maybe I need that," Maya replies, and faces the horizon as if finding an old answer. Sienna smiles, and in her smile there is an understanding that doesn't invade, only accompanies. The next instructions are simple: stretch the shoulders, release the hands, release the jaw. "The body holds stories in the most unlikely places," says Sienna, approaching from the side to adjust the position of Maya's shoulder blades. Her fingers touch her back, drawing in the air the memory of anatomies and tides. Maya closes her eyes for an instant. The salt, the light, the touch, everything combines like a recipe the skin knows by heart. She inhales, and the air seems to enter all the way to her heart. "Like this," Sienna murmurs, almost in a whisper the wind could have swallowed. "Better." Maya opens her eyes and meets Sienna's, so close, so clear that the world outside becomes unfocused. The gaze lasts long enough to say one thing and not long enough to admit it. "One more?" Sienna asks, already standing, shaking the sand from her hands. "One more," Maya confirms, though she knows she is accepting more than just a wave. They return to the water. The sun has risen a tone, the foam has become whiter, the children's laughter has faded. There are fewer people in the outside, the sea sings in a deep language. Sienna makes a gesture that mixes command and invitation. Maya paddles, feels her body decide for her, and, when the board glides, the world stretches. Standing, she surfs for a few meters as if she were born there, until the wave lies down and returns her with tenderness. Upon surfacing, she looks for Sienna, who is cheering with her arms raised. "Yes. See? You and the sea, talking without a translator." "I heard it," Maya says, breathless, smiling with her whole mouth. Her accelerated breathing is not just from the effort, there is something else blowing inside, making space. Noon approaches, and the shadows grow short. They put away their boards and walk along the boardwalk, where the aroma of grilled fish competes with that of fresh pineapple and roasted coffee. Maya's body, tired and happy, settles into an unhurried pace. Sienna points to the sea, always the sea, and talks about changing currents, about winds that play at turning the page. Maya listens and, at the same time, takes note of how Sienna lives, as if the world fit in her hands and time were elastic. The wind lifts the hem of Sienna's t-shirt a little, a triangle of skin appears, golden and absent-minded, and Maya learns that attention can also be a silent prayer. They sit at a wooden kiosk, with sweaty glasses of juice and a colorful bowl of fruit. The wood, warm from the sun, releases a discreet smell of resin. "Did you always know you wanted to teach?" Maya asks, blowing a strand of hair that insists on falling across her face. "No," Sienna replies, stirring the cinnamon in her glass as if drawing a plan. "I just knew I didn't want to live far from the sea. The rest came with the tides." The sentence hangs between them, like a fishing net. Maya finds herself smiling in a way she hasn't smiled in a long time, from the inside. There are good silences. This is one of them. A silence of those who don't need to fill it with anything because everything is already there. The rhythmic sound of the water, the light that pours over their shoulders, the sweet and sour taste of pineapple that insists on lingering on the tongue. A street musician makes a guitar tell stories. Sienna follows the rhythm with the tip of her foot, distracted. Maya observes this small movement, and her heart follows in time. "Early tomorrow?" Sienna asks, getting up, her sunglasses tipping a little on her nose. "Tomorrow," Maya confirms, without hesitation. "I'll send you the location. There's a beach that's kind of a secret. The sea talks quietly there." "I like quiet conversations," Maya says, and there is a new glint in her speech. Sienna tilts her head, as if collecting that phrase in an internal pocket. "So, at 6. At 6. They say goodbye with a simple, almost shy wave, and go in different directions, but the day does not split in half. Maya walks slowly, the board a sweet weight on her shoulder. She mentally replays the touch on her shoulder blade, the lingering gaze, the word that remained. She feels her skin still warm from the sun, the salt pulling water from her body, the memory of the waves shaking inside her like a boat that doesn't want to stop. At some point on the boardwalk, she stops, observes the reflection of the sky in a shallow puddle, and the world seems to tilt her a little towards Sienna, like the tide tilts the seaweed at the shore. Later, in the simple room with a window to the sea, Maya washes the salt away with warm water and lemon soap. The steam draws arabesques on the mirror. She brushes her hair, puts on a loose shirt, opens the window, and lets the night enter with its sense of eucalyptus and sea. Her phone vibrates. A message: "Tomorrow, before the sun. Bring your board and a hunger for the sea. S." Maya smiles to herself, like someone receiving a password. She types slowly, "I'll be there. M." Then she deletes it, writes again. "I'll be there." Sends. Closes her eyes. She listens, in the distance, to the waves repeating an ancient mantra. And she knows, without saying it, that something has begun. She lies down, but doesn't fall asleep immediately. The memory of the touch on her back returns and settles with the delicacy of a well-spread sheet. The body does not forget maps. Her thoughts wander among loose images, the scar on Sienna's arm, the shell necklace, the mischievous laugh when the foam jumps high, the phrase about inviting fear to surf along. Maya runs her fingertips over her collarbone, as if tuning an instrument, and promises herself that, the next morning, she will listen more deeply, to the sea and to what it brings to life in her. When she turns off the lamp, the moon has already climbed a step and pours pale light onto the floor. The room smells of salt and lemon, the night, of promise. A gentle wind passes through the curtain and touches Maya's skin in a way that faintly recalls Sienna's fingers adjusting her posture. She smiles in the dark. And it is in that smile that sleep comes, tender, almost silent, like the water that laps the sand and recedes, leaving a drawing that only those who watch carefully can see. The sea, down below, continues its conversation, and, for the first time in a long time, Maya feels she understands the language. She turns on her side, ready for the day to come, when, on her phone screen, a new message pings, "Oh, and bring coffee afterwards. I'll make the rest." Maya stares at the lit screen for a few seconds, her heart in a rhythm that is not haste, but expectation. Her finger hovers over the keyboard, a response is born, changes a word, swaps another, deletes, rewrites. The sound of the ocean comes through the open window like an invitation, and she finally types something simple, which carries an entire world, deal. The cursor blinks, and, before touching send, she raises her eyes to the window, where the curtain dances, and for an instant has the distinct feeling that someone is watching her from outside, not someone of flesh and blood, but the dawn itself. She smiles again, places the phone on the nightstand, and the sentence "she will leave hanging in the air tomorrow," without yet knowing it, is already beginning to form. The day is born before the clock. The air smells of green mango and salt, and the road to the secret beach seems like a silver thread stitching the low brush. Maya drives slowly, windows open, the cold pre-dawn wind hitting her face to awaken what still sleeps in her. On the passenger seat, 2 thermoses dance discreetly with each curve, coffee for cold hands, promises in the form of steam. When she parks, the sky is a gradient of blue in transition, and Sienna is already there, sitting on her board as if meditating, her hair in a bun that can't decide whether to exist or come undone. Upon hearing Maya's steps on the cold sand, she smiles without surprise, as if the sea had told her. "Did you bring the coffee?" she asks, without moving, her eyes still on the horizon that is opening its eyes. 2. Maya holds up the thermoses, proud of a simple gesture. "Strong, as requested." Sienna accepts the mug, takes a sip, and closes her eyes. There is a perfect silence that fits between one small wave and the next. The world seems to breathe with them. "This place has a power," she says, finally. The waves here arrive softly, as if they were whispering. "Whispering is the language of important things," Maya replies, and the sentence hangs between them, like a floating net. They enter the water when the light is still a promise. The initial cold is a shock, then an embrace. Sienna points out the channel, shows where the current pulls, draws invisible maps with the palm of her hand. In the outside, everything is slower. The yolk of the sky begins to turn golden, and a breeze changes the direction on their skin. Maya feels her body ready in a new way, as if a knot had been untied during the night. "No rush, remember," Sienna says, but there is a rush in her eyes, to see Maya find that intimate axis that connects desire and movement. The first wave is small and clean, a timid line that grows. Maya paddles, feels the board release, and rises with calm. The body obeys. For a second that stretches, she glides standing, light, as if the water recognized her by name. Sienna's shout comes cutting through the wind, "That's it. Let it take you." The sentence arrives full of meanings and shivers. When Maya returns, Sienna touches her hand in an uncalculated high five, and the touch crackles on her skin like a welcome spark. "I told you the sea speaks," Sienna laughs, her eyes shining with the kind of pride that isn't heavy. The morning advances, and the movement gains cadence. Between one set and another, conversations slide easily. Sienna tells of the scar on her arm, a board that didn't want to talk, of how she almost moved away from the coast and gave up the day she realized she would be breathless without the sound of the waves. Maya speaks little, but opens windows, the cold apartment in Canada, the long afternoons of silence, the feeling of doing everything right on the outside and wrong on the inside. Sienna does not interrupt her. "The sea forgives detours," she concludes, simply. "We learn to come back." The wind changes its mind, and a higher set forms in the back. Sienna warns, now a more nervous one is coming. Choose well. Maya watches, feels the water grow, the blue wall cast a shadow. She paddles. The force of the wave takes her with vigor, and for an instant she understands what it is to trust the invisible. She gets to her feet too late, the edge of the board bites the water, she flies. The fall is a dark whirlpool, a dull noise in her chest, a library of bubbles. The hunger for air comes quickly. Before fear turns to panic, a hand grabs her forearm and guides her ascent. Sienna. The surface breaks like a thin film. Maya inhales loudly, her chin vibrating, half laughing, half trembling. "I'm here," says Sienna, close enough that the whisper is not lost. "Breathe with me." They float side by side, and the rhythm of the air returns to the right beat. Maya feels her heart beating in her neck, at her fingertips, in the place where Sienna holds her. The shock gives way to a warm gratitude, which descends through her body like tea. "Sorry," Maya laughs, her voice hoarse. "I got ahead of myself." "Ahead of yourself?" Sienna smiles sideways. "Or did the sea pull you into the future?" The sentence remains like a soft provocation. Sienna releases Maya's arms slowly, like someone returning something precious to its owner. "Let's go again. Only this time, look at me when I say, go." They try. And, this time, it works. Maya rises with the wave, Sienna shouts, "Now," and obedience turns into a dance. Her posture corrects, her weight finds its place, and the water accepts the agreement. At the shore, their laughter mixes with the noise of a group of surfers commenting on the tide with invented expressions. The two look at each other for a moment that needs no caption. There is a desire in the air that can't decide whether to exist or stay quiet. Later, with their bodies tired and happy, they go to a cafe hidden behind a bookstore. The space has scratched wooden tables, plants hanging from the ceiling, a record player spinning an old song. The smell of sweet bread competes with that of freshly brewed coffee. Sienna chooses a table near the window, where the light passes through glass bottles and falls in colors on the tablecloth. "This is my favorite place when the water is closed for business," she says, and the phrase, unintentionally, sounds like the confession of someone who also closes for business when needed. The conversation flows in a natural course. Maya discovers that Sienna collects postcards of beaches she has never seen, sleeps with the sound of the sea on an app when she travels inland, and is afraid of horror movies but opens a bottle of wine to watch them anyway. Sienna discovers that Maya knows how to repair surfboards, doesn't like the smell of lavender, and has notebooks with lists of perfect waves drawn in the corners of the pages. "The list still has an open space," Sienna comments, looking at Maya's fingers playing with her silver ring. "Maybe we'll fill it together," Maya says in a tone that could be a joke, but isn't. Maya's phone vibrates on the table. A message she wasn't expecting, a name that was once an address, a late invitation for a civilized conversation. Her gaze sinks for a second. Sienna notices the internal tide change and pretends to look at a painting on the wall to give her space. "Problems from the northern hemisphere?" she asks later, gently. "Just pages I haven't torn out yet," Maya admits, putting the phone away. "But I think I'd rather write new ones." "Great," says Sienna, with honest relief. "I need someone to read my bad chapters too." When they return to the beach in the afternoon, the sun pours an orange gold onto the water. The tide is high, the foam draws lace. Sienna proposes an exercise, to sit on the shore for 5 minutes, just watching the movement of the water without speaking. "Presence training," she explains, joking. "The sea gets jealous when the mind wanders off." Maya laughs and obeys. The wave comes, wets their heels, recedes, leaves small shells anchored in the sand like commas. They say nothing. And, in that nothing, a lot happens. The body takes inventory, the warmth of the sun on a knee, the salt crystallizing on the hairs of an arm, Sienna's shadow touching Maya's shadow with the delicacy of someone asking permission. "What do you like most about this place?" Maya asks, when the silence has already told what it needed to. Sienna thinks. "I like that the world here doesn't need to fit me. I'm the one who fits into it." "I want that," Maya replies, in an almost whisper that the tide carries and brings back. "Not just here. In myself. Sienna turns her face. Her gaze is firm, not invasive. We learn. Slowly. With the body, not with the head. She stands up and extends her hand. Come on. Let's learn a little more. Back in the water, the afternoon offers a gift. Dolphins cut through the outside like silver laughter. The air fills with a childlike joy that disarms any defense. Maya points, her smile wide, and Sienna laughs at her laugh. Everything is a good excess, light, salt, a trace on the skin. Behind this splendor, the tension grows in a discreet, almost subcutaneous place. A timeless touch. When Sienna corrects the position of Maya's feet, the proximity has a different gravity. When Maya holds Sienna's arm to keep from slipping, the gesture lasts a second longer. When they look at each other after a good wave, the air between them becomes denser, scented with the sea and something that has no simple name. The day begins to show signs that it is leaving. The shadows lengthen the objects, the wind changes its clothes, the sky rehearses red. They put away their boards slowly, like someone who doesn't want to sign off on the end. There's a viewpoint there, Sienna points, with her chin, to a trail that climbs between rocks and bushes. Want to see the sunset from up high? I do, Maya answers, without thinking. The climb is short and beautiful, the eucalyptus perfumes their breath and clings to their clothes. At the top, the view is like a postcard that refuses a frame. The two sit on a warm rock, knee to knee, and the entire city seems reduced to the sound of the water. Sienna takes a light jacket from her backpack and, without ceremony, places it over Maya's shoulders. The wind is deceiving, she says, and her hands linger there for an extra moment, holding the fabric at the collarbone. The contact is small, but the effect is large. Maya thanks her with her eyes. The sun, below, lies down on the water with a beautiful slowness, and the first lights of the waterfront begin to twinkle. A lone musician plays a harmonica somewhere, the melody rises like an invisible thread. Sometimes I think I came here to unlearn, Maya confesses, her voice soft. To unlearn haste, guilt, this way of apologizing for existing. Sienna doesn't answer immediately. She watches the sea welcome the night, takes a deep breath. I don't know how to teach that, she says, finally. But I can stay by your side while you learn. She turns her body slightly. Her face is so close that Maya can smell the salt and sunscreen, a trace of cinnamon coming from somewhere. Both of their hands rest on the rock, almost touching, separated by a minuscule distance. The world shrinks to the size of this small space. The wind lifts a strand of Maya's hair and deposits it on her lips. Sienna extends a finger to move it away and stops the gesture midway, asking for permission with her eyes. Maya nods, almost imperceptibly. Sienna's finger lightly touches her skin, gathers the strand, lingers for a breath at the corner of her mouth. Maya closes her eyes for a millisecond, which widens like a gentle tide. When she opens them, Sienna's eyes are on hers, and everything that has no name recognizes itself in this silent meeting. The two lean their bodies, a centimeter, maybe two. The air holds its breath with them. And then, from Maya's pocket, the phone vibrates loudly, insistently, like a wave that breaks too soon. They pull back a breath's worth. Sienna smiles, a little awkwardly, looking down. Maya takes the phone, doesn't answer, silences it. The noise of the world returns, but it doesn't undo what the silence had built. Sienna runs a hand through her hair, composes herself and, with a humor that saves her from her own fears, whispers, "The sea has perfect timing. We are still learning." Maya replies, almost laughing, "Tomorrow, 6. Tomorrow, 6. And, as the two get up to go down, a gaze lingers longer than necessary and brushes, again, against the promise that still has no name. Halfway down the trail, Sienna stops, as if remembering something. She turns to Maya, her mouth searching for a sentence that, if spoken, changes everything. The morning is born with the gentle haste of one who knows the way. Maya wakes before the alarm, grabs her board and coffee, and heads down the still empty road. The trees create tunnels of shadow, the sky lightens behind them like a veil being carefully removed. When she arrives, she finds Sienna already on the sand, in denim shorts and a rash guard unzipped to her sternum, leaving a small triangle of skin that the sun is beginning to turn golden. The shell necklace, always there, accompanies her steps. "Did you sleep?" Sienna asks, with a smile that measures the mood of the tide. "Enough to dream of waves that don't break," Maya replies, resting the board on her hip. "Today I want to learn to hear what comes before the noise." They enter the sea with the horizon still washing its face. The cold water awakens everything that matters. Sienna positions Maya, and the proximity has a new weight. When Sienna's hands adjust her hips, there is less space between them. When her fingers reach her shoulder to correct the line, the skin recognizes a path it has already traveled by desire. "Breathe here," Sienna whispers, lightly touching the center of Maya's chest with the tip of her index finger. "Don't fight it. The wave is a letter that chooses you. Read it slowly." Maya closes her eyes for a second and obeys. The next set arrives in a translucent blue. Maya paddles and, at the exact instant Sienna says, "Now," she rises with an elegance her body pulls from somewhere recent. The board cuts the surface, the wind opens a corridor, and, for a few generous meters, the world aligns. At the shore, laughing, they stumble in the foam like two children. "I saw it," Sienna says, proud, her eyes sparkling. "You didn't ask the water for permission. You entered like someone coming home." "Maybe home is a place we find in the body," Maya replies, still breathless. Sienna looks at her for an extra second. "You say things I wish I had written." "Then write them," Maya returns, and the silence that follows is a thread stretched between them, about to make a sound. The sun rises and decides to stay. The two take a break in the shade of a palm tree. Sienna pulls the rash guard over her head, revealing a light tank top with thin straps, a discreet neckline, the salt drawing maps on her skin. Maya tries not to notice and fails gracefully. Sienna perceives the hesitation and, as if testing a tide, moves just a little closer. "May I?" she asks, extending her hands to stretch Maya's shoulder blades. "You may," Maya replies, and the word carries more than just authorization. The touch lingers long enough to light an internal path, the weight of her hands, the warmth that passes through the t-shirt, the breath that seeks the right rhythm. "Better," says Sienna, her voice low, almost a secret. "You have a strength you didn't know you had. And you have a lightness I envy," Maya admits, laughing at herself, so as not to stumble over what she feels. Later, already at the cafe behind the bookstore, the record player plays a song with a warm voice. Sienna appears in a light cotton dress that, when she sits, opens a discreet slit on her thigh. Her perfume mixes salt with something citrusy. Maya arrives with a thin sweater thrown over her shoulders and a white shirt with two buttons undone, and, almost, that asks for nothing apologies. They look at each other as if noticing an inevitable detail for the first time. "You're different," Sienna ventures, amused by her own lack of subtlety. "Different how?" Maya jokes, fidgeting with her napkin. "Like someone who has left winter behind," Sienna replies, and the metaphor arrives with the precision of a small wave that finds the feet at the exact right moment. The conversation follows paths they already know, but something new seeps in at the edges. Sienna tells of a competition she almost won and gave up in the final. Maya talks about the times she stayed too long where she had already left. "I don't know how to lose gracefully," Sienna confesses. "I always think the sea will give me back what I wanted." "And does it?" "Sometimes it gives back something better," she says, looking at her cup as if the future lived there. Maya holds her gaze and decides to provoke gently, "And when the sea gives a person back?" "We learn to swim differently," Sienna replies, and the temperature of the mood changes. It's not just the coffee that's hot. Outside, the weather turns without rehearsal. A light rain begins, transforming the street into a glistening film. Let's go. Sienna stands up, impulsive. I want to show you something that only exists when it rains. They run under the awnings, laughing, bumping shoulders, sharing a happy haste. The smell of wet asphalt and eucalyptus invades their breath. In a few minutes, they reach a wooden pier that extends over the water. Raindrops draw circles on the sea, as if someone were touching the surface with invisible fingers. It looks like the ocean is receiving notes, Maya comments. And every drop is an, I'll be back, Sienna completes. Under the low roof, the cold wind finds its way between the planks. Sienna approaches from behind and, without asking, adjusts the sweater on Maya's shoulders, pulling the fabric at her collarbone. You shivered, she says, and keeps her hands there a second longer than necessary. Maya turns her face, slowly. The world reduces to the sound of the rain and their two breaths. Sienna's eyes, so close, hold a question that can no longer be ignored. I don't want to rush anything, she says, sincere, her lips almost brushing the words, but I can't pretend I'm not feeling this. Then don't pretend, Maya whispers, and the phrase opens a door. The kiss doesn't come all at once. First, their foreheads touch, as if they were testing the fit of the tides. Then, their noses brush, one side and the other, their breaths mingling. Time learns to walk the right way. When their lips finally meet, it is gentle and clear, like someone writing a first line knowing there will be others. There is no hunger, there is an ancient thirst. Maya's body responds with a warmth that starts in her chest and spreads in slow waves. Sienna pulls her a little closer, her hand on the nape of her neck, and the world quiets. The rain, an accomplice, transforms the pier into a movie scene that isn't exaggerated, it's just right. They separate reluctantly, smiles coming before words. Sienna begins, laughing at her own stumble. Me too, Maya completes, unashamed to translate what the kiss had already said. They stay there, leaning against the railing, as if the sea needed to confirm the scene. The cold passes. A warmed body becomes a shelter. Does this scare you? Sienna asks, intentionally light. It scares me less than being far away, Maya returns. I spent a long time confusing care with distance. No one needs to hide here, Sienna replies, and the simple phrase lights up a new place in Maya's chest. The rain thins to a mist, and the day re-emerges on the other side as if it had taken a shower. They walk back slowly, sharing an umbrella that can't quite cover them both. Their shoulders touch, their hands find each other in a studied distraction. On the way, a shop window displays linen dresses and light skirts. Sienna stops, finds a huge hat amusing, puts it on her head and asks, does this suit a surf instructor who is trying to look serious? It suits anything you want to be, Maya replies, and the compliment doesn't slide off, it stays where it needs to. Sienna takes off the hat, thinks for a second, picks up a light green dress with a V-neck and laughs, and this? That will make the sea lose its composure, Maya teases, blushing at her own boldness. The salesperson appears with a cheerful, good afternoon, and the scene dissolves into the everyday, as if life hadn't noticed that something had changed color. In the afternoon, the tide rises with an unstable mood. They return to the beach. Sienna wears the new dress over her bikini, the fabric clinging to her skin in some places. Maya, an open linen shirt, a top underneath, her stomach touching the breeze. The surfboards become a bench at the end of the day, and the two watch the surfers cut through the orange of the sunset. You know what I like most about endings? Sienna asks, looking far away. They lie. They always seem absolute. But tomorrow opens up again. I spent years believing in endings, Maya confesses. This city taught me to call an ending an intermission. In the interval between two waves, Maya's phone vibrates again. She breathes, sees the name she doesn't want, and turns off the screen. Sienna observes without invading. You don't have to choose now, she says, like someone reading internal seas. But I know what I want, Maya replies, and her I includes us without saying it. The wind brings a sudden chill. Sienna opens her arms in a silly gesture to warm her and laughs when Maya accepts the hug naturally. Body against body, an obvious fit. This city spoils us, Sienna whispers, her mouth near Maya's ear. It gives everything for free, salt, light, courage. And kisses on the pier, Maya ventures, almost laughing. And kisses on the pier, Sienna confirms, and their smiles meet before their mouths meet again, now in a brief brush that is half memory, half promise. Night falls. The boardwalk lights up with yellow lights that reflect in puddles left by the rain. A musician plays something that sounds like a song of return. They walk without hurry, sharing stories they will still invent. When they reach Maya's car, they stand still for a moment, as if goodbye were too big a word. Tomorrow? Sienna asks, casual to disguise her desire. Tomorrow, Maya replies, resting her chin on Sienna's shoulder for a second that is too short. I'll send you the location, Sienna says, but doesn't leave. Or. Maya raises her eyebrows. Or you go to sleep early and wake up before the sun. I'll stop by the hotel with coffee. Deal, Maya replies, and her mouth chooses to say thank you by lightly touching the corner of Sienna's mouth, a kiss that is almost a laugh, the kind that lights up small lights throughout the body. Sienna takes a step back, as if confirming reality with the air itself. Her hair, loose, falls on her collarbone. The green dress seems to have been made for that hour. Good night, Maya. Good night, Sienna. They don't turn their backs immediately. One gaze holds the other by an invisible edge. And, when Sienna finally turns to leave, Maya calls her in a low voice, Sienna. The instructor stops, without turning around. Yes. The rest of the sentence doesn't come out. It remains poised between her tongue and her heart, waiting for the right tide. The dawn arrives softly, and with it the feeling that the world has been reduced to what fits in one's hands. Sienna knocks on the hotel door with the promised coffee and a smile that doesn't try to explain itself. Maya opens, her hair still damp from the shower, wearing a light linen shirt, cotton shorts, barefoot. The hallway smells of eucalyptus, and the room, of lemon and salt. I said I'd do the rest, Sienna jokes, holding up the thermos. And I believed you, Maya replies, leaving the door open like someone opening a window. They drink coffee sitting on the floor, leaning against the bed, the mugs resting on their knees. The conversation is soft, their breaths find a common rhythm, and the silence that arises between one sentence and another is not heavy, it rests. When the first line of light cuts through the curtain, Sienna reaches for the clock, tries to get up, gives up halfway. The tide is late today, she says, and the words decide to stay there a little longer. Maya observes Sienna's face without hurry, the freckles the sun has sown, the soft line of her mouth, the way she bites her lip when she thinks. Stay, Maya asks, simply, like someone naming a desire without fear of scaring it away. Sienna doesn't ask, until when, she asks with her body, approaching slowly, like someone respecting a temple being visited for the first time. The kiss is born from the skin before the mouth. Sienna's hand brushes the sleeve of Maya's shirt, and this small gesture opens the way for the rest. They bring their foreheads together, belonging to the same air for a few seconds. If it's not now, we'll understand, Sienna murmurs, and Maya responds with a short but whole nod. The first touch of lips is soft, a well-asked question. The second already carries an answer. Maya slides her fingers along the nape of Sienna's neck, feels the heat that accumulates where the skin is thin. Sienna traces Maya's jaw with her thumb, slowly, as if learning a new alphabet. The morning light lies on the carpet as they rise and, in a choreography no one rehearsed, walk to the window. Maya opens the curtain halfway. Outside, a watercolor blue is beginning to happen, inside, a more intimate blue, deep in their eyes. Sienna holds the hem of Maya's shirt, asks for permission with a gaze that doesn't waver. May I? Maya smiles. I want you to. The shirt rises like a slow tide. The morning air touches her skin and makes the body wake up in a different way. Sienna observes each part as if time had gained a zoom lens, the collarbone, the line of the shoulder, the faint mark of the bikini that the sun had drawn. Maya, in turn, unties the knot of the jacket Sienna is wearing, slides the fabric down her arms, feels the weight of the cotton fall to the floor like someone letting go of a weariness. There is no rush. The room, suddenly, is an island where the clock has no calling. They recognize each other with their hands like someone reading a map with their eyes closed. Sienna's palm travels down Maya's back, finds the terrain between her shoulder blades, that place where the body holds memories, and asks for passage with the courage of someone who already knows how to care. Maya responds with a shiver that runs up the nape of her neck and explodes into warmth in her chest. You're beautiful, Sienna says, in a whisper that isn't meant to be a movie line, but is. You see me as beautiful, Maya corrects, and the verb hits the center. The bed receives them both in a small sway. The sheets smell of new soap, and the texture is a promise under the skin. Sienna scatters kisses across Maya's geography with a care that is not shy, the cheek, the corner of the chin, the small curve just below the ear where the pulse becomes music. Maya, in response, traces Sienna's collarbone with her fingertips, moves down her shoulder, discovers the delicacy of the freckles like someone finding private constellations. They laugh softly when a knee bumps another, when a strap gets caught on a bracelet, when a strand of hair falls in the wrong place and needs to be returned with a breath. The laughter, there, doesn't interfere, it's a seal. Words become few, because the body has found a more frank language. Still, the ones that appear have the sobriety of intimate vows. Tell me if something doesn't, Sienna begins, and Maya gently interrupts her with her fingertips on her lips. I'll tell you. And I'll stay. To stay does not mean immobility, it is a decision. With each touch, a question, with each sigh, an answer. The skin learns new paths, the heart follows, the two heartbeats seeking synchrony. Their breath warms the space, and the morning, outside, seems to accept the invitation to enter. The soundtrack is the most ancient, air coming in and out, the sliding of a sheet, a laugh that returns, the other's name spoken low, like a secret. Sienna kisses Maya's forehead, then her closed eyes, then the edge of her mouth, as if drawing a circle of protection. Maya slides her hands along Sienna's waist with a care that lights up the world. There is strength and delicacy in the same gesture. They adjust, seek the angle where everything seems tailor-made, and find it. Time begins to open up wide fields. Desire ceases to be haste and becomes presence. When the light grew brighter, they switch places like someone changing the music, but not the tone. Maya guides with her palm, Sienna follows with her skin. The wardrobe mirror returns a brief image, two women choosing each other without spectacle, with tenderness and courage. It is not something to be seen, it is to be felt. Sienna holds Maya's hand above her head for an instant, their fingers intertwined, and the scene creates in Maya the memory that strength is also allowing oneself to be led. With you Maya tries to say, and doesn't need to finish. Sienna understands. It's a sentence about waking up. It's a sentence about home. The morning advances to something that doesn't fit on a calendar. At some point, Sienna stops, rests her forehead against Maya's, the two breathe together until their pulses slow. Water? She asks, with an almost domestic care. Maya laughs. If it's fresh, I'll take it. Sienna gets up, takes the bottle from the sideboard, returns with a glass, and the simplicity of this gesture grows in the air. Maya takes a sip, offers the other, and when the water cools her mouth seeks. The kiss that follows is neither beginning nor end, it is a bridge. They reposition themselves. The curtain moves with the wind and draws shadows on their skin. There is a moment of complete silence, the kind where even thoughts take off their shoes. Sienna runs her nose along the curve of Maya's neck like someone memorizing the way back home. Maya runs her hand down Sienna's back, learning an entire dictionary there. Desire becomes a clear invitation, and both accept, without rush, without proof, with gratitude. The body is territory, and they wander without fences. Outside, the city begins to exist. Laughter in the hallway, a door that slams, a maid's cart passing in the distance. Inside here, the morning has a different grammar. They move with care and surrender, like someone dancing a song that needs no instrument to exist. When one hesitates, the other offers ground. When one advances, the other makes space. There is no choreography more beautiful than the one created with this quality of attention. In the middle of it all, a pause. Sienna looks at Maya as if she wanted to frame that face forever. "Thank you," she says, simply, for no apparent reason other than the obvious one. "For what?" Maya smiles. "For not leaving in the middle of my sentence," Sienna replies, and they both understand they are no longer talking just about that room. The next kiss tastes of agreement. The light has already hit the walls with total white when they find a rhythm that seems to have been reserved for this day. It is a coming and going that does not hurt, that cares, that warms inside and out. The sheets wrinkle like a used map, hair gets caught and released, the skin holds light marks like good memories. Nothing there needs a caption. Everything there is understanding. When the good exhaustion begins to draw contours, Sienna pulls Maya into an embrace of one who protects from the wind. They breathe slowly, together, until the air is clean again. "Are you okay?" Sienna asks, without letting go. "I am," Maya replies, and the certainty in her voice is new. The body rests, but the morning is not over. Curious hands still find questions. Laughter returns, scattered. Desire chooses to remain, not for the fire, but for the ember. Maya turns her face to the window and laughs at her own surprise, the water outside shining high, as if the sea had heard everything and approved. "We missed the tide," she says, feigning regret. "We caught another one," Sienna replies, kissing the tip of her nose. There is an invitation lingering, a new beginning within the new beginning. They look at each other as if understanding that this doesn't fit into just one morning. And, when Sienna leans in again, the shadow of the curtain draws on the wall the outline of two figures touching with the certainty of those who have finally found the right language. The story does not end here. It just changes its tone, deepens its theme, tunes its instrument. The room, the light, the salt that insists on staying on the skin, everything aligns for one more movement. Sienna smiles with the corner of her mouth, like someone about to tell a beautiful secret. "So," she says, and the rest of the sentence is what will open the next door. The morning takes its time to recognize that it is already day. The room still holds the breath of the night and the salt that insists on staying on the skin. The curtains flutter in a wind that carries the rumor of the sea as if it were fresh news. Maya awakens first, in the rare interval between dream and wakefulness where the body remembers before the mind. Sienna sleeps beside her, one arm thrown over her stomach, her hair spread on the pillow like pale seaweed, her breath in a calming rhythm. Maya observes the line of her shoulder, the pattern of her freckles, the corner of her mouth that announces a smile even in rest. It is not haste that touches her, it is a deep recognition, and "this is it," that settles in and breathes with her. When Sienna opens her eyes, the day finally agrees to happen. The smile is short and whole. "Good morning," she says, her voice like warm sand. "Good morning," Maya returns, and there is a gratitude that doesn't fit into two words. They move closer with the delicacy of those who already know each other's grammar, hands that converse, lips that revisit a promise, bodies that confirm what the heart wrote during the night. There is no urgency, only continuity. The room becomes a ritual again, the slow shadow of the curtains on the skin, the sheet that slides like water, the pause to laugh when hair gets caught in a ring, the care of asking with the eyes and answering with a nod. What began before is now completed with the tranquility of one who has found the right tide. Later, when the sun is already streaking the carpet, they get up like someone returning from a long dive. The shower takes away the excess, not the memory. Sienna wears a borrowed white shirt, bigger than her, the sleeves rolled up to her elbows. Maya ties her hair in a high bun and wears shorts and a cotton t-shirt. They have coffee on the balcony, the taste of lemon and toast making way for conversations that only arrive when haste is left outside. I don't know how you do it, Maya says, looking at the sea, but with you everything seems to have the exact measure. I get the measures wrong all the time, Sienna laughs, sincere. I just learned to listen when my body says, this way. The news arrives as clouds do, first light, then shadow. On Maya's phone, an email waits with a polite subject line, a job offer in Vancouver, dates, terms, the promise of stability wrapped in good manners. Her heart takes a step back. Sienna sees the tide changing in Maya's eyes and places her mug on the table carefully. Talk to me, she asks, not with control, just presence. Maya breathes and translates, the possibility of going back, the fear of repeating a winter inside, the question of what is built when one chooses to stay. There is no speech. There is ground. I don't want you to decide for me, Sienna says, with the serenity of someone who knows what she cannot manipulate. But I can listen to you until the end. She moves closer, rests her forehead against Maya's, asks the world for silence for a few seconds. If you're meant to go, I will applaud your courage. If you're meant to stay, I will applaud just the same. What I won't do is pretend it doesn't matter. Honesty has a temperature. This one is warm. They go out. They walk in a straight line to the edge of the day. The beach is alive, children build fortresses that the tide will take, surfers draw white streaks on the water, a dog runs after nothing. The sea, an old accomplice, breathes with them. Sienna gets the boards from the car with the dexterity of someone who knows weight and balance and offers one to Maya without words. They go in. The first shock of water is a baptism again. In the outside, they sit on their boards as if sitting on a pew in an open church. Tell me what you feel, Sienna asks, her eyes on the horizon. It takes Maya a moment to find the right sentence. I feel that I've learned to live in a way I don't want to unlearn. The set forms. Sienna touches Maya's knee lightly, a gesture that says, I'm here. Maya chooses, paddles, gets up. The wave receives her with a firm embrace, the board glides, and for several generous seconds, she crosses the surface with the confidence of someone who doesn't argue with the wind. At the shore, the two hug with a joy that doesn't ask for permission. You look beautiful surfing, Sienna says, breathless, and the compliment is not about technique, it's about the encounter. The afternoon finds the two in a cafe with an open window, the breeze entering like a guest. Sienna spreads old postcards on the table, beaches with names that promise wind, cities where the blue is greener. I collect trips I haven't taken yet, she laughs, unashamed of her own hope. There's a card missing for Australia with you, Maya teases, and Sienna's smile reveals that she wants to paste that in the album too. Between sips of coffee and slices of carrot cake, the conversation goes deeper, family, fears, the versions of themselves that no longer fit, what remains after the wave breaks. I always ran from what hurt, Maya confesses. I discovered here that running also hurts. The difference is that, here, you have a place to breathe, Sienna completes, and they both nod. When the sun begins to hang gold on things, they climb to the viewpoint where they almost kissed and were interrupted. The air smells of eucalyptus and sea spray. The city lights up slowly, like someone scattering fireflies. Sienna wears the green dress from the other day, Maya, a linen shirt that the wind plays at opening. They sit side by side, knees touching, and for a few minutes, they say nothing. I think we need a ceremony, Sienna murmurs, laughing at herself. Not one with paper, but one that the body understands. What kind? Maya asks, surrendering her neck to the wind. An "I'll stay," said to the sea. Or an "I'll go," said to the sky. Whichever one you choose, I'll stay to applaud. Maya closes her eyes, and the memory of the dawn returns like a film one never tires of watching, the shirt being slowly removed, the care, the patience, the joy of existing there without fear. She opens her eyes and finds Sienna, who is looking at her as if learning a verse. I don't know what the future does with us, Maya says, finally. But I know I don't want the past to decide for me. I want to choose myself where I found myself. The wind passes and confirms. Then stay, Sienna whispers, not as a request, but as a welcome. Maya nods. There are no fireworks, there is relief. And it's better this way. They walk down the trail hand in hand. The night is already warm when they reach the pier. The sound of the water against the wood is ancient. The place where they first kissed recognizes them both effortlessly. Sienna rests her forehead against Maya's, as if checking a pulse. I promise not to leave in the middle of your sentence, she says, renewing the vow. And I promise to keep writing out loud, Maya replies. The kiss that comes now doesn't inaugurate anything, it confirms. It is calmer, more whole, with the taste of what has time. Sienna's hand finds Maya's waist, Maya's hand finds the nape of Sienna's neck. The world returns to the exact size of what matters. The following days fold into a routine that has its own light. Mornings of surfing and coffee, afternoons of remote work while the fan draws circles on the ceiling, nights of conversation and laughter, sometimes of good silence. There are messages exchanged in the middle of the day that say little and mean a lot. There is a new notebook where Maya jots down the waves she has conquered and the doubts she has chosen to save to ask later. There are Sienna's postcards gaining notes on the back. Today the sea called you by name, courage is also a muscle. As life organizes itself, the email from Vancouver ceases to be a shout and becomes a possibility. Thank you for the offer. I will need a longer period of remote work. I am committed to a project on the other side of the world. It is the truth that fits in a sentence. On an afternoon with a northeast wind, Sienna takes Maya to the beach she calls her archive, a stretch of sand where the shells lie like pages. Whenever I need to remember who I am, I come here, Sienna explains. The sea gives me back pieces. Maya picks up a thin, almost translucent shell, its edge reminiscent of the curve of Sienna's collarbone. She holds it to her ear and pretends to hear the voice of the sea. It said, stay, she smiles. It was always biased, Sienna laughs back. The laughter, there, is not a distraction, it is a witness. The lesson, when it comes, does not announce itself as a lesson. It is perceived in the simple gesture of hanging a bikini in the shower, in the way they put away their boards together, in the grocery shopping where one knows the other's favorite fruits. It is discovered that loving, sometimes, is less about grand promises and more about small commitments fulfilled, showing up at 6 in the morning, listening without the rush to respond, correcting posture without correcting the person, leaving coffee in a thermos with a good morning note. Love is a verb that is conjugated with the tide. At the end of the afternoon that closes the cycle, the two return to the viewpoint. The sky, this time, decides to show off. Pink flows into orange, which flows into deep blue. The city sighs in relief. Sienna pulls something from her pocket, a simple leather cord with a small shell. I'm not much for jewelry, she says, awkwardly, but I thought this could remind you of what you heard here when the world gets noisy. Maya receives the gift like someone receiving an anchor. I won't forget, she replies, and she's not just talking about the necklace. She puts the shell around her neck and feels the light weight of having a north. Do you think we can handle the simple? Sienna asks, with a gentle humor. The simple has always been the hard part, Maya says. But with you it just seems right. And there is something extraordinary in being able to call right what once seemed impossible. The kiss that seals this conversation tastes of salt and promise. Later, lying next to Sienna, Maya thinks about the versions of herself that arrived on that coast, the one who wanted to control the waves, the one who confused silence with peace, the one who traded presence for fear. They all belong to the same story. Love doesn't erase the past, it organizes it differently. She understands, in that good darkness, that loving is also learning to be with oneself without abandoning oneself. And that Sienna, with her sea-like patience, simply taught her how to listen. If you have made it this far, let the sea of this story also tell you something, that courage can begin on a morning without a clock, that the body knows the way when the head gets tired, that there are loves that are born slowly and are worth every second. Thank you for listening with an open heart. If this narrative touched you in some way, subscribe to the Secret Garden Stories channel, leave a comment telling what grabbed you by the arm, a look, a phrase, a wave, and share it with someone who needs to remember that life, when it listens to the tide within, finds its rhythm. Until the next story.